Welcome back to Let's Play Battlefield 1942, another bonus episode, this time on Berlin again, and like Stalingrad, this is a map where it doesn't make much, if any, sense to be an engineer if you want to rack up a lot of kills, so I'll be showing that anyway. But the other thing that I really wanted to do here was show off the use of the Russian tanks. I've pretty much shown everything else there is to show about Berlin, except for the use of the tanks on the Allied side. And they're very important though, so here we go. First thing you want to do is, if at all possible, defeat the Axis tank. They only get one. I had some backup just in case I got killed there. And someone set up a landmine right over by the Axis tank spawn. That's an interesting strategy. It's useful if there's no... There's the engineer, he's probably the culprit. It's a useful strategy if there's no friendly fire for landmines. You can trap all of your tank spawns that way. That way when your tank gets killed and it respawns, an enemy cannot steal the tank because they'll detonate the landmine and you won't. But on this server they've got friendly fire enabled for landmines, so that really just... that actually sabotages their own team potentially. Alright, we've got to stop this ticket bleed. There were a lot more people than I anticipated over there at the southwestern flag, even engineers with the landmine, so I definitely didn't want to get stuck dealing with that. And a surprising number of people over at this flag and the one immediately to the north are where everyone tends to spawn in. Oh, there's another engineer, just got lucky with a headshot there. Okay, I'm looking to see if he put any landmines on me. I don't think so. Looked like he was going to use X-Packs. We've managed to stop the ticket bleed and cap a flag. Surprisingly, all of their flags seem to be defended. So, luckily, I was able to kill so many people before an engineer had the chance to detonate me and no anti-tank people were around. But you really want to rush the Russian tanks right up front and cap either this flag or the southwestern one, usually the southwestern one. And you're almost certainly going to have to deal with the Axis tank. And I seem to get relatively lucky with the shots. After that, it's a matter of trying to be somewhat unpredictable. The Axis are down to one flag, so obviously they're going to be all massed in there. But just to stop the ticket bleed right up front is the most important ingredient in Russian victory on this map. So that mission has already been accomplished. Alright, looks like they've got their Axis tank, or possibly managed to steal one of ours. I couldn't really tell from the distance. Unless the Germans get unlucky, I don't think there's too much danger for them to be capped out completely at this point. They've got two of the flags, and we've got kind of an awkward position over here in the southeastern flag that we have. They at least haven't lost their tank spawn. But the fact that we were able to stop the ticket bleed so early on is a pretty good indicator that we're going to win. This is one area where the engineer rifle actually does come in handy. There's such a great distance and they've got very little to hide behind. And if they run straight for you, often they'll do that while throwing grenades. They present an easy target for the rifle. You just got to be careful to be far enough away because they can throw grenades very far. They can be difficult to judge exactly how far. So that tank could spawn in right over there any minute. So I want to keep a little bit of distance. There's no way of my taking that flag, or really any flag, on foot as an engineer. So just kind of sit back in the support role, help people out, finish off any weakened targets with one body shot, or hit them with the body shot so they can be easily finished off by your friendly with the machine gun. I picked up the engineer kit from that dead enemy simply because I figured he'd have more ammo. Looks like he's already set down 2 landmines. Alright, now I've got to get really quickly out here because that engineer, yeah, I think he was rushing out there to set up the landmine. Now, stealing the Germans' only tank is going to be really handy unless they mitigate that by stealing one of our 2 tanks, which happens pretty frequently. As with any other map, the key to survival with the tank is to keep on moving. Now that's very difficult in this map because it's very slow going, a lot of obstacles around, and the enemy's control points are very protected by inner walls, and it's hard to maneuver around there. In fact, they may only present a few small areas for you to get in and try to take shots at them, so you can't really circle around them. Uh-oh, there's an engineer with the landmine. The temptation is always going to be to try to get up as close as you can on the flag like this, and it's only going to be a matter of time because they spawn all around you. They shouldn't have too much difficulty. Look, there's a couple of bazookas and engineers. Try to use the splash damage as best you can. It's going to be difficult dealing with so many enemies. Now that's their only flag. That was a good number of kills there. Keeping them on the defensive like that can be useful, plus knocking down their tickets. We have a huge ticket lead over them now, so even if they manage to take all of the flags back in, start bleeding our tickets out, we probably would still win. See, they're, once again, just having a little bit of support from a friendly with a machine gun to take off some of their energy makes it much easier to get a kill shot. All you have to do is hit them anywhere with the rifle. The amount of energy it takes off is almost all the way to kill them. So if they've taken any damage at all, one shot will finish them off. To hit a headshot on this map, you really have to either be lucky or the target needs to be stationary. Okay, that was a Russian tank, but it's got the red tag, so as often happens, once the Russians start spreading out to other points besides their uncapturable, the Germans can sneak in there and steal a tank. Alright, there's the tank spawn. A rare sight. Usually you don't see a Russian tank sitting in there. It just happens to be that we had control of that flag for long enough to spawn in it'll automatically spawn in the type of tank for the country that holds it. I think a lot of people consider the Russian tanks to be the best overall on this game. They've got a good mix of speed and armor strength. A little bit of distance. And you don't want to stay in one spot for too long, because it makes it a lot easier for them to spawn right back in with an anti-tank weapon and know exactly where to go to kill you. Of course, they're going to have some ability to do that no matter what, because there are only so many places you can be. But you still, even though you're in a tank, you're just one ticket, so you always have the advantage in the tickets just taking out a bunch of enemies. Actually, I should use an X-Pack over here. Didn't have enough time to detonate it. See you on the next episode.